Yo, yo, yo. You already know what it do. I already told you, you know, when we just left off. We just left off. But before we get into the true bullshit, the true biblical slavery, and one of the greatest factions, one of the greatest, this is one of the corners, this is the maybe the cornerstone of this Bible study, which is, the chapter of Leviticus, Deuteronomy. We're gonna get Deuteronomy in the redemption, but to begin here, with Leviticus, and before we get into the true biblical slavery, which starts here, which I mean starts from the beginning, it starts from the beginning, but which it is made evident, American slavery, more keenly to say, to appropriately put it, this one, Leviticus totally outlines the Catholic Church and what they was doing before now, all of that, ritualistic Satan, all that crazy shit they got going on in there. And I can guarantee you, just like on Sunday with all these black preachers, I can guarantee you on Sunday, no Catholic preacher or no Pope or none of y'all are coming from Leviticus. You understand? Very important to understand this. Leviticus, Deuteronomy, none of these slave chapters, they're true American slavery chapters. And the Catholic Church has so much to do with this because, as you're gonna see, it's gonna say the priest, the priest, Jesus was conspired against by the high priest, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But ultimately, the priest, and if you don't understand history, you wouldn't know that, just as I was saying earlier in this lecture, the Pope of the Catholic Church was the first to industrialize slavery. I forgot exactly which Pope it was that had got his first two servants as a gift, but and decided to make a business out of it, and therefore you have the complete industrialization of slavery, just like you have the complete industrialization of crime today. So when you understand the beginnings of slavery truly, especially rooted in into the Catholic Church, and the whole lie, that they have the world, thinking that Jesus is a white man, or that Jesus is a European philosophy, or a European prophecy, or anything like that. No, Jesus, the story of Heru, which ultimately became the word hero, one that saves, and now in Western culture they call him Jesus. This is an ancient African prophecy. To not understand these things, and when you put all these things against, when you equate all these things up to, the Catholic Church, this is I'm saying, and the Pope supposedly being the one in domination of the world. The Pope has there's so many outstanding characteristics that a pope has, if you may will. You know what I'm saying? He can have anybody murdered. He can have anybody locked up type. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Pope is above the law, basically. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand these dynamics, then maybe we can begin. And just as I wanted to really bring this up right quick, because just as a quick aside, before like I said, before we get into the book of Leviticus and all these other and the rest of the BS, very important now to understand how Obama has truly brought out the true colors of white people. the true colors of white people, because regardless of how they claim to not be racist and all these things, just as I said earlier, you've never seen this many white people not like the government until now. You know what I'm saying? And it really shows their true colors, because you throw this guy is one black man into the mix of into the mix of Congress, the Senate, and all this. This is one black man, and he's not even a black man. I mean, his mother's white. He was raised by his white European mother. Doesn't even know his black faction like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you take that, when you just take that simple thing, when you just take that simple, when you just take that simple idea, that simple concept into account, it really shows the true colors of white people, because white people have never just talked so bad about the government or any of these things. So I think that's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Before, even after 9/11, you know what I'm saying? Even after 9/11, you may have had some of them, trying to question things or whatever, but it's just the foolishness, just simply looking for a scapegoat, when ultimately, like I said, this guy is not the one that sent all of our sent all of our companies out of the country. You know what I'm saying? None of that, and this is just, it's very interesting just to see white people really attempt to feel good by blaming this brother. You know what I'm saying? When truly that was the whole ploy. That was the whole ploy to try to make black people look bad through him, because figures, these presidents stand for a whole demographic. You know what I'm saying? Bush stands for white people, pretty much, and they feel like Obama stands for black people. You know what I'm saying? So this being a whole ploy, and them hating the brother so much, them wanting to make him the scapegoat so bad, to the point where they even declined the job bill. You know what I'm saying? The job bill is something that was going to help all of us. You know what I'm saying? President Obama offers the job bill and Congress shoots it down. You know what I'm saying? That's something that was going to help white people as well. But all because they don't want nobody to smile upon this brother. All because they want him to they want to completely tarnish his image and his history, and future chances of young brothers and sisters becoming, true political and leader and head figures. You know what I'm saying? So it's politics to its highest degree, and it's true spiritual wickedness in high places, as it says, and I believe that's in Ecclesiastes or Ephesians 1. But it's true spiritual wickedness in high places when you play deception upon people like this, and very, very important for people to understand. And that's crazy that they wouldn't let him pass the job bill. They wouldn't even let him pass the job bill, and that's something that was going to help everybody. But yet when Clinton was in, they let him pass the Welfare Act. You know what I'm saying? And they hate welfare. And that is so crazy. That is so crazy that they would let one of their own do something that they totally hate. And that's probably why they kind of outcast the Clintons now. You know what I'm saying? Because they probably really hate that, and that's just very interesting. That's very interesting. They wouldn't even let this brother pass the job bill, and that's something that was going to work for everybody. Even white people, but they'll let one of their own, pass the Welfare Act. You know what I'm saying? They'll be pissed off about that shit. It's that is just so interesting. It shows just the true determination to keep the whole idea and the whole thought of black people and who they really are, suppressed, and it shows the determination to keep this cap on the idea of black people, as to where they still want to only think this one way about us, that we're nothing but some high jumping, savage, sex horses. You know what I'm saying? Lustful sex horses, and that's ultimately what you have, Very, very, very crazy, and it's really wild because we have this whole Obama Olivia love and hip hop complex where it's such a vicious ignorance that we really tend to look past the real shit. We just want to be we just want to laugh and be entertained. And we're so egotistical and arrogant to the point where we can't be taught anything. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, this would make us just like white people. You know what I'm saying? Because black people are so arrogant and so egotistical, the way you can't tell them anything. You know what I'm saying? And they know. It's like it's so crazy. It's so crazy. But that's why I say, we have the Obama Olivia love and hip hop complex type, because, we really try to look past, like the other day, I was on Facebook and I was just talking to my homegirl about the show Scandal. I'm like, hey, it's a cool show. I mean, I guess it's a good show or whatever. But what if roles were reversed? What if the setting of Scandal wasn't a courtroom in a president's office? What if the setting of Scandal was just Walmart or some office shit? Olivia Pope would just be a straight hoe. You know what I'm saying? But being that she has power and all these things, this makes her for some reason, some type of figure or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy that like that whole show is just crazy. But it's crazy how we could look past it. We can look past it. We can just be like, hey, we see it because I can see it for what it is, but I can also see the message as well. You know what I'm saying? It's always messages in everything. Not just but because they're not making anybody look good on TV, and that's basically what I'm getting to. So is you can take it for entertainment, what I'm saying, just like me playing the game. When I'm playing the game, I'm having fun doing it, but I know that I could be doing something else, and I know that there's other dynamics to it, but maybe we don't think about it that complex, but that's just real. In taxes, something that I definitely wanted to say about taxes before we go, right quick, me and my partner was talking about this the other day. Just the simple concept of taxes. Just the simple concept of taxes let you know that we are being robbed completely. The way that they manipulate taxes and the way that they steal from us, legally by way of taxes, because truly, you pay for your job. You pay to work basically. Back when I was working, I was paying $100 something a week for my job or whatever. 70 or to $100 something a week for my job. And when really, if you look at it, taxes are supposed to take care of everything, all necessities in society, basically. You know what I'm saying? Really, taxes are supposed to make sure that we have health care, supposed to make sure we have our lights on, water. You know what I'm saying? Food. Tax is supposed to really take care of all that shit. But they're taking all of our tax money, individually, and they're just giving back. And months later, after they take all of it out, what I'm saying? After they take all of it out, they give you back the same amount that they took out from you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of giving it back with interest, and giving back what they earned from the projects that they have done or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Instead of government being your aid, it's totally sucking us dry. You know what I'm saying? And this is completely, this is all of us. This is everyone in America, from white, black to I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? I really wonder when did the tax system start? Like, it's just crazy. But just that whole little, just understanding that, really understanding that complex, and everything really supposed to be paid for. If taxes were really, you know, what they were supposed to be, and them taking something from you and just giving you back the same thing months later. It's like, hey, what the fuck? Like, I really could have used that same, I could have used that what you took from me, for whatever I had to do. You just gonna give back the same money, what I'm saying, keep the interest, and that's basically what we're getting. You know what I'm saying? They're just keeping the interest, Crazy, man.